Hello.
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 Welcome to the premiere of The Women's Project.
The Women's Project.
The Women's Project.
We are so excited to share this show with you tonight.
Without your support, we could not have brought these stories to life.
The Women's Project started in March of 2020 during the first COVID-19 lockdown.
It began with a few FaceTime calls and ended with a cast and crew of 25.
The cast and crew is made up of college undergraduate students from across Southern California, including UCLA, USC, Chapman, and FIDM.
We wanted to depict the experience all women share.
This show is a devised new work created by a team of all women using original materials.
Everything you see, from lighting design, wardrobe, music, and more, is done by all of our creators.
This show reflects the stories of 6 women.
Audrey Waters,
Hazel Howard,
Jojo Curran,
Eve Parker,
Sam Reyes,
And Maggie Frank.
You see each of these girls receive an On This Day Snapchat notification 6 years after their senior year of high school. 2021 in the present, 2015 in the past.
When viewing this memory, they all reflect on their younger selves.
As an audience member, you will see that school day 6 years prior play out.
This show is not linear, but a look into the brains of these women.
6 women, 6 different perspectives, one day.
Although we all experience the same things, how we perceive them is vastly different.
Though different women with different perspectives, the way the stories intertwine reveal the truths about the universal experience of being a woman.
The show bill is in the comments section with all information regarding this production.
This show was created, rehearsed, and shot adhering to all CDC protocol.
Although we cannot be in the same room tonight, we hope you feel the energy through the screen that we were so lucky to feel on set.
This has been an experience none of us will ever forget.
We are so excited to share these stories about women, by women, with you.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
I'm now thrilled and proud to present The Women's Project.
I can't remember a day I didn't have eyes on me. They said I was as delicate as a flower the day I was born.
I've always seen things a little bit differently.
You'd never guess it, but I was a happy kid.
All I knew was that I wanted to change the world.
I used to feel like I was something of a conundrum.
I can't remember a day I didn't have eyes on me.
They said I was as delicate as a flower the day I was
didn't have eyes.
They said I was as delicate as a flower the day I was
I've always seen things as
I said I was as delicate as a flower the day I was born. They said I never guessed it.
Attached to something
So big, it seems so not big, and I don't even know how to use it.
The best part of having art on display.
I used to feel like I was something of a conundrum. And I was something of a conundrum. Yin and yang, loud and quiet, tough and delicate. All of this swirled around beneath the surface, and I struggled to define myself amidst it all. Family's always meant everything to me. My favorite days growing up were spent at Disneyland, taking the funniest pictures on Splash Mountain and eating way too many churros. I would take all my younger siblings to the movies every Friday. Despite the decade our ages span, we had this kind of niche, familial taste and a shared sense of humor. Shrek 2, easily the best Shrek. Home Alone, not as funny as everyone seems to think, and simply not practical, but that's all besides the point. We loved the same things and hated the same things. We still do. It's cute. All of that older sister energy bled into my social life too, and let me tell you, it worked. I was the queen of acquaintances. Everyone knew me. Whether we won a BP tournament together over the weekend or worked on a class project, I could connect with pretty much anyone. I was the designated mom friend and almost always the DD, which, you know, I saw the best in people. I didn't like to let anyone down. And honestly, I loved that about myself. But the weird thing about my having that many friends was that I still didn't feel known. Not truly. You know, I could walk into a room and everyone would know me, but I never felt like I had people to confide in at the end of the day. The people I did trust meant the world to me, but I wasn't so good at telling them that. I met my boyfriend Eli at the first party I ever snuck out to. By the time the first bell rang on Monday, we were exclusive. We were our grade's couple, you know, the one that everyone wants to be. Yeah. I always took transitions at a fast pace like that. I'd go through massive life changes so quickly that I had no time to question them. But I was sleek. It came easy to me. I relished what it felt like to walk down those halls. The head nods and little handshakes and kickback invites in passing. I moved with confidence. Purpose. That walk down the hall every day was kind of my thing.
Dora, do you want Gushers? Of course Dora wants Gushers.
Hey, Audrey.
Mags, that video you posted of you singing, I can't believe you wrote that.
Yeah?
You are so good.
Hey.
I think it's super cool. You should post more of your stuff.
Oh, I'm actually thinking of uploading some stuff to Spotify.
Do it.
Just might. Oh, wait. Is there any chance you're free later to go over physics? I'm totally screwed for tomorrow.
Oh, shit, yeah. We can meet in the library during break.
Perfect.
Okay,
See you later.
Hi, Audrey. Evelyn, how's the painting been going?
Good. I think I'm on the verge of doing something new, trying to find some inspiration.
If anyone can tackle that, you can. Thank you.
And how are you?
Good. I'm good. Just trying to handle everything with school and life.
Do you want to talk?
Does she have class?
Just art, but she likes me.
I guess AP Lit can wake a couple.
So, who is it? Well, something's bothering you, and you're you, so that means someone's bothering you. So who is it?
Jojo? I mean, don't tell Eli because things are really good between us right now, and it's not like I'm being unfaithful at all. That's not what's happening. I've barely even thought about it, and I love him so much. It's just, what does it mean?
What does it mean that you've been thinking about her? Well, we only feel what we feel, right? So, I mean, it's like when I'm with Josh.
Yeah, hey, how are things with him, by the way?
Good. We got pretty close pretty fast. But he's got his big game tonight, championship against the Stags.
Jefferson High, baby. God, I fucking hate the Stags. They beat us at every single track meet in middle school.
Remember, and you always had to leave early for dance.
Yeah. Isn't your art exhibition tonight?
Yeah, the district art show. That's tonight.
And you're going to
Yes,
that?
yeah, I'm going. He's not thrilled that I'm missing his game, but we obviously have to be around people. So.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally. That's not fair for him to demand that you have to be there.
No, and he's not. He wouldn't.
Good.
Yeah. Anyway,
it's not that important. I've just sometimes been thinking about her and weirdly like if I would ever want to be with someone like her. Not now, not instead of Eli or anything, but I've just never really allowed myself to wonder if I could ever like a girl, and JoJo is just so confident and interesting, and like I think I could. Like I could definitely like her.
that's how it was with Lila at first.
She just makes me feel so weirdly safe and comfortable, and like the way that she carries herself and doesn't apologize for exactly who she is. Like I look up to that a lot, and like I know we're fully the same age and everything, but I look up to that, and I guess there have been moments where I am attracted to her, I guess. But the thing is, we don't talk. Like, I talk to everybody. You know, I'm nice to everybody, but I can't even get myself to text JoJo even as a friend, and then I feel guilty for even being nervous in the first place. I'm like, I don't know.
Okay, but reminder that you don't stop being attracted to people just because you're in a relationship. Like, you're choosing Eli, and he can be your number one, but still having moments of being attracted to other people, that's human. Doesn't mean you don't love him, it just means you're not, I don't know, dead. And just because these feelings happen to be for a girl, that doesn't mean you have to reevaluate your whole relationship. It just means you're discovering something else about what makes you you. It doesn't have to change things unless you want it to. And, I don't know, now you got a bit more perspective and maybe a little grown up to check off the to-do list. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I know that. Kinda know that. It's just weird.
Sometimes weird is what we get. And that's okay. Do you know what your love language is? Because I have just a feeling that it might just be words of affirmation.
Well, thank you for affirming me.
Anytime.
I love you.
I love you too.
Dude, fuck, I'm so fucked for this.
Okay, go.
Jojo, hey, what's up?
Hey, how's stuff?
I mean, it's pretty good, but that AP Hero exam was pretty much my undoing. How are you?
Fine. How's Dora?
Oh, they're all good. Dora, the twins, May. Your parents? How are they?
Fine. How's Eli?
Really good, actually. He just decided he wanted to start this little book club with his friends, which is funny because literally when do any of us have any time to read? But he decided he wanted to start getting in the habit again, so he convinced his whole dance squad to agree to do it. He's very charming, you know, so that's pretty much been his focus. But yeah, so they're starting with this very niche, deep south / memoir, whatever, I don't know. Anyways. What?
Nothing. You're just so cute. Like, I don't know if I want to throw up or be jealous kind of cute, so.
Oh, wait, does that mean no more Claire? Or?
Wow, it has been a hot minute since we talked, huh? Yeah, no Clara. She was so great, but she still hasn't technically come out yet, and I didn't want her to feel like she had to rush that because of me, and yeah, it's tricky, but it's all good.
Whoa, I didn't know she wasn't out, or not that I didn't say anything, that's not what I meant. I just didn't know that you guys were like totally together, but she wasn't out yet, so that's tough. I would think that's tough.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of more common than you think. Like, especially now and here. Like, we live in such an accepting area that it seems weird when someone's hesitant to be fully out or like embrace it, but it's really common. Like, really common. You know, it's totally okay for you to be on your own timeline. For people to be on their own timeline. I mean, sexuality is so weird and so fluid and can feel so big and so not big, and really, people should be more gentle with themselves, you know? Everything in time.
Yeah, no, I'm sure that would be comforting for a lot of people.
Eli is really lucky.
Yeah, I really do love him. I mean, who starts a book club, you know?
Who knew boys could read? Well, I have to go to class, but if you need anything ever or just want to talk, you know where to find me.
You know, not me calling you at 2 a.m. being like, hey, haha, I genuinely love my boyfriend, but help, because woman.
All I knew was that I wanted to change the world, from the earliest moment I can remember. Honestly, I had a pretty good life growing up. Like, I certainly couldn't complain. My parents were incredibly caring and supportive throughout my entire upbringing. I lived in a nice neighborhood, got good grades, followed the rules. Life was objectively good, but I always felt slightly out of place. I mean, maybe it was because I was the only black girl in our neighborhood. Maybe it was because I wanted to debate about the intricacies of intersectionality and systemic racism, and my peers wanted to debate about which party to crash over the weekend. Who knows? I think I just wanted to see myself somewhere. When I was like 11-ish, I had this moment in the toy aisle of Target where I realized that every doll came in two types, blonde and brunette, never black. There was never a doll that even looked remotely like me, and once I saw that, It was like a veil had been lifted. I started seeing it everywhere. I never saw girls like me in movies, and immediately, even then, I thought that was bullshit. Absolute bullshit, and you'd still never get to see a dark-skinned black girl have it all. Why not? Why shouldn't a girl like me be intelligent and successful and perceived as the marker for achievement and admiration? A couple years later, my mom and me sit through an Angela Davis documentary, and I fell in love. I fell in love with the power of black intellect and with protest and revolution and justice. And I grew to realize that there were 3 types of people in the world. Those who spew hatred, those who fall victim to said hatred, and those who stand up and actively combat it. I decided I'd become the 3rd. I started small by getting involved in school with Model UN and debate club, and eventually student government. And one day I woke up, and I'd been elected president of my class, co-chair of debate, and leader of the student jury. I was working so hard at it all that I barely even realized the way I started to change, grow, and realize my aspirations, and make the dean's list. I made it my mission to root out the injustices around me and combat them one step at a time. In a world where everyone in power told me that I couldn't have it all, I still dared to want it. The end goal was, wait for it, Yale Law. And I made no attempts to hide it. I wore that signature Yale pin all the time, a manifestation of sorts. I was going to graduate with honors from an Ivy League, get my law degree with a concentration in criminal and social justice, and go on to have an illustrious career working for the NAACP or the ACLU. I had it all figured out. Or at least I thought I did.
Did you do the lab write-up yet?
Yeah, I started last night. It's not too bad. I found it very manageable.
I feel like I messed up the titration part, so I don't know if my data is going to be any good. Is there any way I could just check mine with yours?
Yeah, no problem. It's in my folder. Just give me a second. You're saving my life.
Did you hear what happened this morning with them?
Yeah, I know what you're referring to. I have a super long student jury meeting today, but I think we're going to have to work in some time for a hearing for this morning's event.
What I would give to see Cooper put in his place like that. And I mean, it was kind of warranted if he actually said that about her prom dress. I mean, what 40-year-old man feels the need to comment on a student's neckline? That's fucked.
I'm not speaking as charming when I say this, but I totally agree. The amount of times I've had the urge to pull something like that, it's just
too much on the line.
Yeah, chairman and all that. But God, Cooper's infuriating.
Actually, the worst. You,
No, what were you going to say?
Hey, Jojo, we were just...
Yeah, we didn't mean to...
Hey, I don't blame you guys for talking current events. Jeff said I'm with you guys today.
Jeff? You good?
Yeah, totally. I'm just like expecting a super important email, and I've convinced myself something's wrong because I haven't received it yet.
It must be important. Is anything fun? See, now I'm intrigued.
I wouldn't describe it as fun. It's just important to me. It's a college thing.
Woo, college.
Wait, this soon? I just finished my last artistic mission statement. Well, whatever it is, I'm crossing my fingers for you. And knowing you, I hardly think you have anything to worry about.
Thank you. I think it'll be really interesting seeing where everyone ends up.
Let's titrate.
Mags, that video you posted of you singing, I can't believe you wrote that.
Yeah.
You are so good.
Thanks.
SGA has reallocated the prom budget in order to subsidize busing costs and increase funding for decorations based on feedback from last year's graduating class. We so appreciate everyone who reached out with concerns and theme suggestions. We cannot wait for you guys to see what we have in store. Now, a special announcement about graduation. The student jury absolves Josephine Curran.
Jojo.
What?
It's Jojo, not Josephine.
Okay. The student jury absolves Josephine Curran of official punishment for her altercation with Mr. Cooper. Because this is her first infraction, she will be let off with a warning. Jojo, you're free to go.
Good. Great. Thanks so much, student jury of holier-than-thou kiss asses. Truly, this means the world to me.
Hey, we were gonna give you a month worth of detention if I didn't say anything. You could be a little more grateful.
No, you're right. Thank you so much. How will I ever repay you? Just so you know, I don't care what my punishment was going to be. I wouldn't have gone anyway. I think it's cute you think you have the right to decide how my life gets lived because I actually stood up when someone said something sexist, reductive, and cruel. So glad you've inserted yourself into that situation.
As the head of the student jury, that actually has a lot to do with me. Okay, I didn't insert myself into the situation. I was elected to this position. Don't take it personally. No one here is out to get you. We're literally just doing the job that we signed up to do. And I saved your ass back there. Okay, I didn't need to, but I did. So this whole, you're upholding the system and I'm over it thing, we're all over it. You're not unique in that.
Attending the same classes my parents took 30 years ago, learning the same outdated content, memorizing the same fucked up one-sided histories. I'm just angry. Like, I don't want to be here. I can't wait to graduate, but then I have no clue what I'm going to do once I actually do get to graduate. I don't have some early acceptance waiting for me during chem, and I'm not in charge of literally every club. And I'm fine with that. Like, we don't have to have it all figured out, you know? Like, it's great that you do, but I don't, so...
I got rejected. That acceptance email? I got rejected. I got rejected from Yale. I got rejected from the one school that I've been planning on going to for an embarrassingly long amount of time. I didn't get accepted. I got rejected. So no, as of 1 p.m. today, I don't have it all figured out. In fact, I have nothing figured out. But I continue to show up. Okay, I get through morning announcements and I get you out of detention for doing something that I wish I could have done. I convinced myself in a matter of minutes that I have no choice but to go on with my day. That's the kind of person I am, okay? I don't make excuses. It's not about having it all figured out, Jojo. That's where you're really, really wrong. It's about how you deal with not having it all figured out.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
No, sorry. I think I just gave myself really good advice on accident.
That really sucks about you. I think if they heard your speech, they might change their minds. Hey, look, I'm really sorry. I just thought that because how you come off and I don't know.
I'm glad to hear that the act is convincing. I don't know if you saw me today on the morning announcements, but I found out about Yale 15 minutes before, and I had to go in and talk about the prom budget and stuff like that. And I always have to seem so positive, even if I don't feel that way. I had 15 minutes between opening that email and showing up to the council room with a smile on my face. You know, so I seemed likable and put together, but not too smiley to come across as an airhead. You know, women empowered, they can smile too much. Smile too much and they won't take you seriously. Smile too much and they won't listen to a word you say. But as a black woman, the rules change a bit. I always have to make sure I'm smiling at least the third time I'm on camera. I always have to keep track of who might make what assumption, who I have to shift my word choice for, and who I have to tune out for my own sake. So, you know, if I come across that way, all charismatic and put together, then that just means I've done my job. So it's not your fault you assumed. If anything, I should be thrilled that you did.
But you're not.
No, I'm not.
I mean, a lot of those things I assumed are true. Like you being really smart and really self-aware and really charismatic. Yale fucked up.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe some higher power or something just doesn't want my school mascot to be the bulldog.
Oh, wow, yeah. They should change that.
Do you happen to have even a remote desire to own a bulldog pen? I know one that's in need of a home.
Oh, I will absolutely take that. Consider my wearing this an act of rebellion on your behalf. To me, this is just a pin of an awesome dog I think I will choose to name Harvard. Harvard is their rival, right?
Correct. Well, Harvard looks great on you.
Thanks. I'll see you around, Hazel.
See you around.
They said I was as delicate as a flower the day I was born. My father was a linguistics professor and decided Rose, Daisy, and Lily were too on the nose. So he chose Samantha, derived from the Greek word anthos, which means flower. As a child, my mom told me that I had the power to collect all the energy from the sun, and that energy would make me grow as tall and colorful as I could have ever possibly imagined. So, summer became a time for dancing in the sun. Towels were unnecessary after swimming, and the flowers seemed to groove with me as I twirled above them. My mom caught on quickly, and soon I was in dance classes every day. That's where I learned what it felt like to fly. Dance teachers seemed to pay special attention to me, and for a long time I was a clear favorite. When I turned 13, that began to change. I was no longer placed in the front. I was no longer called on to demonstrate the perfect pirouette, and when I auditioned for solos, I wasn't even given a second glance. I figured I must have done something wrong. When I finally asked my dance teacher what was going on, I was given one instruction: to look around the room. So I did. What did the other girls have that I didn't? I knew I was the best dancer in the class, but I wasn't the prettiest or the skinniest. I wasn't that delicate flower anymore. The only place I could think to look for guidance was online. I learned how to do my makeup and hair. I stalked models on Instagram and watched every What I Eat in a Day video I could find. And very quickly, I learned how to get people's attention. I bought a Victoria's Secret bombshell bra at the mall and wore it every day of the 8th grade. That, in combination with my newfound makeup skills, could have probably gotten me into a club if I wanted. My confidence was back, but it no longer stemmed from being the young girl with the wild imagination, but from a mask that I didn't even know I was wearing. The summer leading up to freshman year of high school, I began to rebrand. I told everyone to start calling me Sam. It sounded more edgy than Samantha. I worked out every day and bought my clothes a size down as motivation. I began attracting more attention from guys. I'd never had a lot of guy friends, and it felt weird to no longer be surrounded by a group of girls. But it felt good. I felt the sense of agency knowing that I was hot and in control. But that was all before Riley. In the weeks leading up to the homecoming game, I had been talking to this older guy on the team. He was cute. He actually texted me first, and he seemed to really like me. I felt special. I mean, he had picked me. After the game, he invited me back to his place to celebrate. No one had warned me about his reputation. It took over a week for me to go back to school after that night. I told my parents I must have eaten something bad. When I came back to school, I was different. I stopped doing my makeup. I wore baggier clothes. I literally always had AirPods in. I was quiet. You know what they say. A bloom in spring always dies by winter.
Hey, who's that Asian chick? Is that Sam?
Yeah, she like disappeared for a week in fall, came back super different. So weird. What happened to her?
She used to be super hot. Guess that didn't last.
Hey, Sam, right? Any chance you want to go over physics with me? I'm so fucked with this test tomorrow.
Sure.
Awesome. I told Audrey to meet me here to review so we can all struggle together. LOL. Hey. Hey. All right, let's do this. Or should I say attempt to do this? So, I'm like, if power is energy transferred divided by time, then that would mean that I'm confused.
I think for the first one we're supposed to divide.
I'm over this.
Oh, we've been at it for like 8 seconds. But I mean,
I don't mean physics.
Yeah, fuck it. This can be a ladies' night problem.
Oh, can we talk about JoJo?
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
She's really something else.
Have you guys started this assignment for Mustine yet?
Pre-18th century women in history. How could I forget? What are the odds the boys fuck around and show up in dresses and still manage to get A's?
They literally will. The fuckers.
What I want to know is why we aren't presenting on women right now. Like, I'd like to see the guys try and present on the shit we go through as women in the 21st century.
All I know is they don't have a clue. Sometimes I honestly feel like they just think we're things to look at or use.
I mean, yeah. Things are just so different for guys. They don't really get the in-betweens, you know? Like, you ever feel like you're made up of opposites? Does that make sense? I mean, my boyfriend, he tries. He's got an amazing soul, but there are just some things.
No, I totally get that. I mean, Tom really listens, and he's pretty good in that way, but there's just some stuff that he doesn't seem to get.
I'm still thinking about JoJo flipping that table.
Yeah, I know, right?
I think about that shit all the time.
What?
I don't know. Everything. Everything about our society that tells us to do more and be more. Do less and be less. Be everything at once and do it inoffensively so that we don't make boys feel bad or horny or whatever. I'm glad she flipped that table. I'm sure it felt so fucking good.
What's your table?
What?
Oh, sorry. I mean, like, how do you express yourself? You gotta get that shit out.
I don't know.
Do you know Eve?
Eve Parker?
Yeah. She's my best friend. She has an art show tonight. I think you should go to it.
Do it!
Yeah, maybe.
All right, Aj, we should probably head to econ. See you later, Sam.
Sense of safety that was way too real to exist after dark.
God, I'm so sorry.
It's cool.
Wow, I cannot believe I just backed into your car right now.
It's chill.
Well, do you want me to pay for it or something?
No, I'll figure it out.
Wow, I wasn't even paying attention. My music was so loud.
Yeah, I'm the same way. But no worries, my uncle works at a car shop, so he'll fix it.
Oh, epic. Guess I got lucky. Well, honestly, it's so late I didn't think anyone would still be here.
Yeah, I normally try to book it as soon as school's over, but I promised Miss H I'd help her in the library.
Oh wait, no way, I love Miss H. I used to do that a lot last semester.
Yeah, she's the best. She writes me hall passes all the time.
Classic.
Yeah, I guess I'd rather be roaming the halls with AirPods in than try to understand physics. And she gets that.
Yeah, physics has been kicking my ass this semester. Well, to be fair, we should have been trying harder earlier.
Truly, dude. But physics is just not it. So, why are you here?
Oh, I was just working on music in the lab.
Oh, it's dope. Music feels like the only thing that keeps me sane these days.
Oh, you're speaking my language. Hey, how come I never see you outside of class? You should come out more.
I don't know, it's not really my thing.
Yeah, totally. That's so fair. It's just, can't believe that there's someone else at this school who hangs out with Miss H and blasts her music in the parking lot.
You're a unique breed, I guess. Loud music in libraries.
Oh, that would be kind of an epic song title. Loud music in libraries.
Wait, do you write your own stuff?
Yeah, that song I was just blasting, mine.
You should play it.
What, right now?
Why not?
Because no one has heard my unfinished stuff besides Tom, my boyfriend. I don't know.
I mean, I did just come up with the title to your next big hit. And honestly, I think you owe it to me to play the song that broke my mirror.
Okay, how about this? I'll play you the song if you promise to go to that art show.
What, Mags?
Oh, come on, it'll be great. Try something new. Be crazy. Take risks.
Okay. Okay.
Hey, Sam, right? Audrey said you might come.
Hey, yes, you must be Eve.
Yeah. So, what do you think?
Well, your stuff is the best for sure. This room feels like MoMA level.
High compliment, thank you.
What's this one about? Because I thought one thing and then I read the title. Well, I just really like it. I really like this one.
Well, I'm curious what your interpretation is. Because yeah, it's attached to something very specific to me, but the best part of having your art on display is knowing it could be interpreted differently by everyone who sees it. So what's your interpretation?
Oh, my interpretation. Well, to me it feels like, and let me know if this is TMI, but to me it feels like, do you remember Alex Martin, quarterback last year?
Alex Martin, not really, but he must have been on the team with Josh, so I think I remember him.
Oh, well, I probably honestly shouldn't even be telling you this. I don't even know why I'm telling you
It's
this.
okay. If you want to tell me, you can, but if you don't, that's totally fine. Whatever you need.
When I was a sophomore, after homecoming, He,
Yes.
Huh?
Yes, that's what the painting's about.
Oh, that's what I thought. Well, that's what it feels like. Like, somehow you painted exactly what I feel like.
I don't know where you are with it, with everything, but art really helps me. Helps me feel like I'm in control. Or like I don't have to be completely in control to like be okay. Reminds me that I'm bigger than whatever it is that I'm processing or grieving or celebrating. Lets me give those things some space. Look at all the ways I've grown. And all the ways I haven't.
Well, I can't paint, so guess I'm fucked. Thank you. I've never shared that with anyone.
You'll find it. Your outlet.
Thanks.
Do you want it? The painting. It served me in all the ways it was meant to.
You're kidding.
I'm not.
Honestly, I would love that.
It's yours.
Wow. Thank you.
I'm really glad you came.
Me too.
I grew tall above the water because my mother told me I could flourish. So I opened my petals to the sun so that I could be nourished. I was colorful and bright and so full of life. Until one day your cloud decided to cause strife. You casted a shade until I no longer could see the light, and forced me to return into the depths of the night. You looked at me as though I was on display simply for your gaze, like I was something exotic that was supposed to behave, to serve the purpose in satisfying your curiosity, or even an outlet to take out your animosity. Damaged and broken, I sunk back into the muddied water and prayed that this would never happen again to anyone's daughter. Submerged by the pain and suffering that you can't take back, left me empty, and for a while everything went black. Until one day the light began to reappear and pierce through the water, making everything clear. It brought me back up to the surface to show me that I was strong, that I was beautiful and worthy, and that I could continue on. I know that it will take some time before one ever truly heals, but now I know that I no longer have to conceal. Never again will you hold any more power, because I have been reborn, the lotus flower.
You'd never guess it, but I was a happy kid. And not the normal kind of happy that most babies just default to. I was extraordinarily happy. My go-to face was a smile, and I got excited about even the most routine parts of my day. Back then, breakfast might as well have been a trip to Disneyland. And whether it was Eggos or granola, I felt like I had a fast pass. I loved meeting new people, whether they were geriatrics, my parents' age, or fellow toddlers. I loved going to dance class. I loved every single page and every single picture book in the library. Fundamentally, I was madly in love with life. In elementary school, I was very much a social butterfly, floating through life with ease. I loved being surrounded by other kids on the playground. I was always orchestrating imaginary games and welcoming new classmates. I had a couple best friends I cared for immensely, but I really could have had a great time with just about anyone. Middle school was when things changed. I was around 11 when the switch flipped and everything went dark.
I was no longer excited to decide between Eggos and cereal. I didn't care about people, and I didn't love meeting them the way I used to. I didn't have the energy to try so hard to be the best in dance class. I stopped reading entirely. I was tired. I stopped letting people in. My parents were essentially perfect, and they searched and searched for ways they might have led me astray. But I know now that nothing could have stopped the switch from flipping. I was depressed. Then, in high school, another switch flipped. No longer numb, I felt everything. And I was pissed off. You wouldn't want to cross me. I got my motorcycle license. I craved the adrenaline riding brought me. School days became another thing to get through, and the only thing I really cared about was what came after. Dance class was the only place I felt like I could slow down. Once I began to look at dance as an outlet rather than something I had to be good at, life became a little easier. Dramatic, sensitive, vulnerable. I was all these things, but rarely showed it to anyone. I couldn't help but feel like my life was missing something. To protect myself from exploding, I cut myself off from some of the friendships I once held so near. That's also because I realized pretty early on that some of the things I felt for some friends were not normal. Not in any way that was weird or unhealthy. Queerness was just never a part of the curriculum. I lived in a liberal town with progressives, but it was really just a truly maintained facade. I really couldn't express myself freely, and that made me mad. I wanted to be able to talk to my friends about everything, but it seemed far easier to shut people out completely than try to solve everyone's ignorance for them. It was easier to go at it alone. I don't mean to make myself sound like a Breakfast Club stereotype, but you know me. Everything is always quite cinematic.
What do you want for breakfast, Joe?
I'm fine.
Not optional. Toast. Goodbye.
Bye, Mom.
The amount of times I've had the urge to pull something like that, it's just
too much on the line.
Yeah, chairman and all that, but God, Cooper's infuriating.
Like, actually the worst. Hey, why are you chairman and not chairwoman?
I think we have bigger battles to take on as a gender first.
No, what were you going to say?
Hey, Jojo, we didn't mean to.
Hey, I don't blame you guys for talking current events. Jeff said I'm with you guys today.
Oh.
So what actually happened this morning? You good?
Yeah, totally.
So, I was showing Mads my prom dress before calc started because she asked. Like, I don't even want to go to prom, but my mom and I have this whole deal where, whatever. So we're in the front row, right? And Cooper's like right there. He walks on over, looks at my phone, and goes, "Are you actually wearing that?" Like, no, Brad. No, Brad, I'm just joshing you. Like, yes, obviously that is the dress I'm going to be wearing, and he tells me he wouldn't expect me to go for that look. And I'm like, what look, Mr. Cooper? And that shut him up. I mean, I was anticipating him to say some old dude word for slutty, like provocative or fast, which would have been fun, but no, it was all fine until Jack fucking Anchor had the audacity to say, "He means you look like a whore." And Cooper said nothing. So I stood up, flipped the table, flipped Jack off, and left. Wow. Don't judge me.
No, not at all.
I mean, it was honestly a long time coming. People are always saying these stupid little remarks, and it makes me so mad because, like, I can hear them. And I'm sick of pretending like I don't. I guess I just finally snapped.
The student jury absolves Josephine Curran.
Jojo.
What?
It's Jojo, not Josephine.
Okay. The student jury absolves Josephine Curran of official punishment for her altercation with Mr. Cooper. Because this is her first infraction, she will be let off with a warning. Jojo, you're free to go.
Good. Great. Thanks so much, student jury of holier-than-thou kiss-asses. Truly, this means the world to me.
Hey, they were gonna give you a month worth of detention if I didn't say anything. Do you have to be so rude?
No, you're right. Thank you so much. How will I ever repay you? And just so you know, I don't care what my punishment was going to be. I wouldn't have gone anyway. I think it's cute you think you have the right to decide how my life gets lived because I actually stood up when someone said something sexist, reductive, and cruel. So glad you've inserted yourself into that situation.
As the head of the student jury, that has a lot to do with me. Okay, I saved your ass back there. I didn't need to, but I did. So this whole, you're upholding the system and I'm over it thing, we're all over it. Okay, you're not unique in that.
Attending the same classes my parents took 30 years ago, learning the same outdated content, memorizing the same fucked up one-sided histories. I'm just angry. Like, I don't want to be here. I can't wait to graduate, but then I have no clue what I'm going to do once I actually get to leave. I don't have some early acceptance waiting for me during chem, and I'm not in charge of literally every club. And I'm fine with that. You know, we don't have to have it all figured out. It's great that you do, but I don't, so...
I get it, okay? Do you want to talk about it? What happened with Cooper?
No. Not really. Okay. This feels weird.
You're fine. Who am I going to tell?
Okay, you're right. I guess I feel like everyone expects us to have it all figured out. Like, everyone expects me to have it all figured out, to know exactly what I want to study in college, to know whether or not I even want to go to college at all. It's funny that we're given this false sense of choice when in reality I would be completely looked down upon if I opted out of going to yet another school to pay a stupid amount to teach myself how to be self-sufficient while being talked at in a classroom that just sees me as part of a monolith. And then what? I take my degree and spend the rest of my life fighting to not get paid less than a man? Or pretend like I don't care because there's nothing I can actually do about it? Fuck that! This fucking system is tailored to one brand of person, and I know I'm smart. Like, really smart. I really am. And I know I could have a cool life. I just feel stuck and kind of hopeless, which pisses me off because I'm not hopeless, and God, I'm just so angry all the time. I didn't used to be this angry.
What changed?
I don't know. Believe it or not, I used to be this happy, bubbly person. Everything made me excited. Everything. Like, I loved picking what cereal to eat in the morning. I know. And God, I don't know. I used to have friends. People to goof off with in class when it wasn't interesting. People to hang out with. People to check in with. People I was actually excited to know. I used to love math class, which sounds morally wrong, but God, I fully made calculus my bitch. I feel like the more time goes on, the less I can get myself to care about anything. My friends and I drifted. I just feel so isolated. I feel just like, I don't feel grounded at all.
Untethered?
What?
Oh, nothing.
No, what?
That's what I wrote about for my Yale essay. You know, feeling untethered amidst a social world that seems to prioritize the mundane and the vapid, you know, wanting more out of it all, something deeper.
Yale? Sweet.
Not really. I got rejected.
Okay, this is so mean of me to say, and I'm so sorry, even for me, but that is so relieving to hear.
What?
No, I just mean, look at you. You're the student body president. You're beautiful. You have friends. You seem happy. You have this together life. Obviously, you'll end up a congresswoman by 40 or editor-in-chief at, I don't know, the Times before your 30s are up. And that sucks about Yale. That's so ass. I am so sorry. But you're just trying to sort all this shit out. You're struggling along with the rest of us, right?
Yeah, I guess so, you're not wrong. Really? You think I could editor-in-chief it?
Don't you already do that here for the Gazette? Girl, you're fine. Hey, thank you. Seriously, for getting me out of detention earlier.
There's no thanks necessary. It's just, if I was the student council chairman, I would have stood up and applauded you when you did that. Maybe I can't flip tables, but if you ever want to talk about it.
That could be really nice. Hey, wait, let me get your number, actually.
Yeah, we can bounce our lab reports off each other or something.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry about Yale. But don't worry.
I'll see you around, Georgia.
Jojo, hey, what's up?
Hey, how's stuff?
I mean, pretty good. That AP Euro exam was almost my undoing. How are you?
Same as ever. How's Dora?
Oh, they're all good. Dora, the twins, May. Your parents, how are they?
Fine. How's Eli?
Really good, actually. He decided he wanted to start this little book club with his friends, and it's funny because how do any of us have any time to read right now? But he decided he wanted to start to get in the habit again, so he decided to convince his entire dance squad to agree to do it. He's very charming, so that's pretty much been his focus. And they're starting with this very niche, deep South / memoir or whatever. Anyways, what?
Nothing. You're just so cute. I don't know if I want to throw up or be jealous kind of cute, so.
Oh, wait, so that means no more Clara, or?
Wow, it has been a hot minute since we talked, huh? Yeah, no Clara. She was so great, but she still hasn't technically come out yet, and I didn't want her to feel like she had to rush that because of me, and yeah, it's tricky, but it's all good.
Oh, whoa, I didn't know she wasn't out. Or not that I said anything. I didn't say anything. That's not what I meant. But just that you guys were totally together and that she wasn't out yet. That I'm sure that's tough. That's tough.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of more common than you think, especially now and here. We live in such an accepting area that it can be weird when someone's hesitant to be out and embrace that fully, but it's really common. Really common. It's totally okay for you to be on your own timeline. I mean, for people to be on their own timeline. Sexuality is so weird, dude, and so fluid, and can feel so big and so not big, and really, people should be more gentle with themselves, Everything in time.
Yeah, no, I'm sure that would be comforting for a lot of people to hear.
Eli is really lucky.
Yeah, I really do love him. Who starts a book club,
Who knew guys could read? Well, I have to get to class, but if you need anything ever or just want to talk, you know where to find me.
Yeah, not me calling you at 2 a.m. and being like, hey, haha, I genuinely love my boyfriend, but also help, because woman.
I've always seen things a little bit differently. I had a nice childhood, quiet, safe. I was handled with care. I mean, I scraped my hands climbing the big oak tree next to the playground, and I'd fight with my brother when he messed with how I'd set up my Barbies, but I'd share a cup of peppermint tea with my dad before bed, and that made it all okay. And yeah, I've always liked painting, a lot. Things felt clearer when I could channel them out of my head and onto a piece of paper, preferably in very bright colors. In 6th grade, I was so focused on whether or not Ian from my science class liked me back that my parents' divorce slid right by me. Of course, I noticed that I began to oscillate between 2 houses and that my mom was hugging me more often, but other than that, it was middle school as usual. Whatever frustration I felt toward my parents seemed more palatable in harsh streaks of red and purple paint, and my increasing fear from my older brother as he skipped more and more school seemed easier to manage, channeled into marker scribbles in the margins of my math homework. And then high school arrived, with its slew of new colors and shapes for me to capture. The butterflies in my stomach the first time I caught Lila's eye across the cafeteria were pink and gold. A totally new feeling, and I dedicated page after page in my journal to depicting how it had felt when our hands had brushed in the hallway. I probably wrote down every metaphor possible for how that had felt. I came to understand my love for Lila as feathered edges in periwinkle blue, indigo flowers scribbled over watercolor paintings of the sky at dusk. Quite poetic. As hard as I tried, there were still some moments I could never get right. I could never paint the anger in my dad's eyes when my brother finally came home after 3 days of unanswered calls, and I could never quite illustrate the pride in those same eyes when that same brother graduated college. I knew the numbness I felt when Lila transferred was deep purple blue, but when the dark paint hit the paper, it never looked right. And my mother's bright and stinging anger as she fought with my brother was never the exact shade of red it was supposed to be. And I had simply no clue where to begin when I started to think about that reluctant yes that I had given the boy I dated after Lila, simply because he wouldn't stop asking. I think I wanted to make him happy. I knew I could deal with my own feelings later when I had some time by myself to think in color, but as soon as my supplies were in front of me, I painted what came easily, instead of going near this unfamiliar discomfort. This guilt was heavy, and watercolors are delicate. I'd really let myself down, giving him a half-hearted yes instead of the no that had been bubbling up in my chest. But maybe this was a feeling that was too difficult or scary to confront with just a paintbrush. I knew that if I painted it, I could conquer it, but that meant making the choice to confront it first. Some things are easier left off the canvas.
Did you hear about what happened this morning with the...
Yeah, I know what you're referring to. I have a super long student jury meeting today, but I think we're gonna have to work in some time for a hearing for this morning's event.
What I would give to see Cooper put in his place like that, though. And I mean, it was kind of warranted if he actually said that about her prom dress. I mean, what 40-year-old man feels the need to comment on a student's neckline? That's fucked.
I totally agree. I mean, I'm not speaking as chairman when I say this, but it was badass. You know, the amount of times I've had the urge to pull something like that, it's just...
Too much on the line?
Yeah, chairman and all that. But God, Cooper's infuriating.
Like, actually the worst.
No, what were you going to say?
Hey, Jojo, we didn't mean to.
Hey, I don't blame you guys for talking current events. Jeff said I'm with you guys today.
Jeff.
So what actually happened this morning?
I was showing Max my prom dress before calc started because she asked. So we're in the front row, right? So Cooper can hear everything. He walks on over, sticks his stupid head into our fucking business and goes, "Are you actually wearing that?" Like, no, Brad. No, Brad, I'm just joshing you. And Jack Anchor had the fucking audacity to lean in from across the room and go, "He means you look like a whore." So I stood up, gave Jack the finger, flipped Cooper's stupid little table, and left. Oh, don't judge me.
No, not at all.
Anyways, Eve, I was in the art wing when I was ditching the rest of calc. I saw some of your stuff for the art show tonight, and I thought that shit was badass.
Wow, thank you. No one's ever called me a badass before.
More people should.
Okay, I have kind of a weird situation, and I was wondering if I could get your guys' opinion on it. Because I don't know if I'm blowing things out of proportion, or I'm not angry enough, or...
Of course. What's up?
My, boyfriend, he's kind of pissed that I'm missing his championship game tonight for the show.
Jesus, that's ridiculous.
Yeah?
Yeah.
cool. I know that. He was just kind of patronizing about it, and it made me reconsider if I should go. He was like, if I had a game of yours that I could watch, I would go to that instead of just doing something that you can look at whenever.
That's rude.
Yeah, it caught me a little off guard. But it's also tricky because I know he's just coming from a place of genuinely wanting me there to cheer him on. And I do want to be there. Or at least I did before he was a dick about it. And now everything is all weird and drama-y, and I hate drama-y.
There's a difference between drama and actually allowing yourself to feel hard feelings.
No, you're right. And it's weird because in my art, like, I totally acknowledge and value the deeper, more complex parts of life. Like, I know how integral they are to being human, and like, it's so aesthetically pleasing to acknowledge them. But then any kind of rift happens in real time and it stops me, like, in my tracks. And I feel like I can't move until I deal with the whole issue in its entirety right then and there, and I make sure everyone involved is fine, and it's all sealed in a nice little bow like it would be in a painting. But yeah, what he said, that was fucked up. And I can acknowledge that. Anyway, so it's okay that I'm going.
God, yes. Sometimes you just have to let yourself be angry. Like, take it from me, I guess. If you and I are on opposite sides of the showing our negative emotion spectrum and I'm doing relatively fine, I think you'll be okay. Like, logically, you'll be very okay. And don't you dare listen to that kind of thing. It's so manipulative. Dude needs to chill the fuck out.
Honestly, it feels like everyone's trying to control us and we aren't even aware.
Oh, hey. How is the baby been going? Good. Feel like I'm on the brink of some kind of, I don't know. I'm trying to find something new, trying to find some inspiration. If anyone can tackle that, you can. Thank you. And how are you? Good. I'm good. Just trying to handle everything with school and life. Yeah. Do you want to talk? Did you have class? Just art, but she liked me. Yeah, I guess you can wait a couple.
So, who is it? Well, something's bothering you and you're you, so that means someone's bothering you? So who is it?
Jojo? I mean, don't tell Eli because things are really good between us right now, and it's not like I'm being unfaithful at all. That's not what's happening. I barely even thought about it, and I love him so much. What does it mean?
What does it mean that you're thinking about her? Well, we only feel what we feel, right? So, I don't know, it's like when I'm with Josh.
Hey, how are things with him, by the way?
Good. Yeah, we got pretty close pretty fast. He's got his big game tonight, championship against the Stags.
Jefferson High, baby. God, I fucking hate the Stags. They beat us at every single track meet in middle school.
I remember, and you always had to leave early because
for dance, yeah. Hey, is it your art exhibition tonight?
Yeah, the district art show. That's tonight.
And you're going to
that? Yeah, I'm going. He's not thrilled that I'm missing his game, but I want to go. It feels weird, but I want to go. This means a lot to me.
Yeah, totally. That's not fair of him to demand that you have to be there and everything.
No, and he's not. He wouldn't.
Did he? Eve?
Don't get mad, but yeah. And I'm annoyed at him, and I'm trying to be okay with being annoyed at him, because it's a lot for him to expect that I would be at his game and not at my show when it's something that I've worked this hard on.
Yeah. And hey, I'm not mad. You're mad. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Evelyn? Say it. I'm mad! How do you feel? Good. I'm gonna go pay. I'm not gonna stop you. I'm gonna catch you later. Love you. Ah!
So what do you think?
Well, I read the title and, well, I just really, really like it. I really like this one.
Means a lot to me too. It's one of my favorites.
I'm glad you like it.
Were you? I'm so sorry, I don't mean to pry or
It's
anything.
okay. You? God, that's fucked. I'm sorry.
I saw that and wow. It's just exactly what I'm feeling. I didn't know art could do that.
Yeah, I mean, that's my whole life. How I make sense of everything. But it's cool that how I make sense of the world might help someone make sense of theirs. Never thought I'd be able to do that.
Well, you don't have to be Picasso to make people feel. You just have to be yourself, I guess.
Thank you. Do you want it?
What? The,
Yeah, please.
I couldn't.
Yeah, it's served me in all the ways it was supposed to. Helped me work through a lot. If you think it could help you, then I want you to have it.
I can't remember a day I didn't have eyes on me. I mean, I grew up in the suburbs with a white mom and a black dad, so. My mother preached spirituality and adventure. My dad preached good grades and success. Put it together and you got the Frank family, the perfect balance of spontaneity and control. In the grocery store, suburban moms looked at my mom like she was some kind of white savior. But the black kids at school shut me out because of my vernacular. For years, I never thought anything of it. I clung to my mom and my mom's white friends and their very white lives because what else would a biracial girl growing up in the suburbs do but stick to those who had the power? Even then, I swore I didn't care what people thought about me. I just looked the way I looked and acted the way I acted and was who I was, Mags. And I was happy. Things did change in high school. I started to see the world for what it really was. I became more educated. I started watching the news. I became more aware. And I started to wonder if anyone really knew me. I started to wonder if I even knew me. Did I really want to be the person I had become? Where was the younger me who didn't care about the color of her skin? I was constantly thinking. And everywhere I went, the questions seemed to follow. At the grocery store, at school, driving, I couldn't escape them. It was my boyfriend at the time, Tom, who actually encouraged me to write music. I'd always loved to write. I mean, I would write down everything, seemingly meaningless things that people would say to me, quotes and tags I saw on the sidewalks of Hollywood Boulevard, the things I dreamt. And I had always loved to sing. I would spend any given evening sitting in my car singing along to Joni or Alanis instead of participating in the classic hierarchical happenings of high school. So, writing music made a lot of sense. Once I started, I couldn't stop. Suddenly, all of my insecurities, anxieties, sexual desires, and ponderings took on a life of their own. A beautiful life of their own. The music made me feel like my real self. Something I hadn't felt for a long time. And I knew it wasn't necessarily smart to depend on a journal, pen, and guitar as a source of therapy, but it worked for me. Boyfriend and got good grades, you know. I was desired and got invited to parties and lived this textbook example of a good life. But when I felt like I was faking it, or like no one really saw me, when I realized I was the only person who would ever truly know me, that's when I picked up my guitar and my pen and wrote it all away. I mean, I still do.
exam, right? Any chance you want to go over physics with me? I'm so fucked for this test tomorrow.
Sure.
Awesome. I told Audrey to meet me here to review so we can all struggle together.
Hey.
Hey.
All right, let's do this. Or
should I say attempt to do this? So, I'm like, if power is energy transfer divided by time, then that would mean that I am confused.
I think for the first one we're supposed to divide and then...
I'm over this.
We've been at it for like 8 seconds, but I mean...
I don't mean physics.
Fuck it, this could be a later tonight problem.
Oh, can we talk about JoJo?
Yeah, that was crazy.
She's really something else.
Have you guys heard of this assignment for Miss Dean yet?
Pre-18th century woman in history. How could I forget? What are the odds the boys fuck around and show up in dresses and still manage to get A's?
They literally will, the fuckers.
Yeah, what I want to know is why we aren't doing a presentation on women right now. Like, I'd like to see the guys try and present on the shit we go through as women in the 21st century. You know, honestly, I'd like to see myself try and present on the shit we go through. I don't think I even acknowledge half of it. I mean, how could I? There's just so much to take care of.
And then you'd pile on everything else we'd be responsible for teaching. Like, I'm only learning about my culture to try to teach the complexities to that of someone who doesn't want to listen. Sounds like a bad time to me.
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel like we're expected to be teaching and learning all at the same time, and that's not fair. And Tom, he really listens, and he's pretty good in that way, but there's a lot that he doesn't know how to ask, and there's a lot that I don't know how to answer.
Deep.
Also so fair.
All right, Audrey, we should probably head to econ.
Right, see you later, Sam.
So, tell me more about Tom.
Tom? I mean, what else is there to know? I mean, he and Eli are best friends.
Well, yeah, I know. It's just, you two really seem so perfect.
Thanks. Yeah, he's just so great. He's so smart, and he totally gets along with all my friends. They're kind of obsessed with him. Yeah, he's just, I don't know, he's probably the kindest person I know. But there's always stuff I'm trying to figure out, you know? Not about us specifically, just relationships in general. Because this is my first real relationship, and sometimes, no, actually a lot of the time I'm worried I'm not doing it right.
What do you mean, doing what right?
Just sharing myself with someone. I don't know, there are parts of me that I haven't exactly figured out, let alone know how to show someone else. And it's like, I know Tom sees me. He sees me more than most people, but then I get so in my head about it, and I'm like, okay, but does he really see me? Because I'm still figuring out how to know myself and how I exist and who I am, and I can't really articulate those things to him, you know, because I don't even know them. But then if I don't tell him, does he really know me? I don't know, I just get so in my head about it.
Do you think guys think about those things?
What do you mean?
Eli, I just feel like there's some emotions, some middle grounds that he doesn't understand. Like, not everything has to be so black and white.
Oh, I get that completely. No, but Tom does make me feel seen, you know, and supports me in everything, especially my music, which is how I deal with all that stuff, I guess. It's just so confusing, you know? Like, shouldn't I know myself so well? I mean, I am me.
Literally.
Yeah, and it's not like Tom has to be some expert on me or something, but I always think about who I am versus how I seem. Are they the same thing? Can I make them the same thing?
You really think about this a lot. Huh?
Yeah.
Well, from my point of view, you've always seemed like you know exactly who you are.
Well,
So.
I do, you know? I know what I like and what I don't like, but there's just so much more to it than that, I guess. And that's what I'm learning. And like, what does it mean to be in a biracial relationship, you know? Like, sometimes my head just...
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring it
No,
up.
it's okay. It's just how it is. But Tom is the best. I'm really lucky to have him. Oh, but I mean, was there something you wanted to bring up about Eli? How's the famous dancer duo?
Oh, nothing. I was just curious. So, really?
Yeah, I know. I never see you as happy as when you're with him. It's pretty cute.
Such a dork. I guess that's kind of the thing. Like, I don't want to rely on him too much.
What do you mean? Audrey, you were literally the most independent person I know.
Yeah, I guess.
No, really. Let yourself be taken care of a little bit. It's okay.
I can still be independent alongside that. Strong and
also supported. It's okay to lean on somebody else. so sorry.
It's cool.
I cannot believe I just backed into your car right now.
Chill.
Can I pay for it or something?
No, I'll figure it out.
God, I wasn't even paying attention. The music was so loud.
Yeah, I'm the same way. But no worries, my uncle works at a car shop, so he'll fix it for you.
Wow, epic. Guess I got lucky. Honestly, I didn't think anyone would still be here so late. I don't think I've ever seen anyone here so late. I mean, besides the football team, but I avoid them at all costs.
Yeah, fair. I normally try to book it as soon as school's over, but I promised Miss H I'd help her in the library.
Wait, no way. I did that a lot last semester. I love Miss H. I didn't know anyone else called her that.
Yeah, absolutely. She rates me hall passes all the time. That certainly deserves a nickname.
Classic. Yeah, I always see you leaving physics with a pass. I'm like, jealous.
Yeah, I'm proud of myself for that one. I can only take so much.
Yeah, physics has been kicking my ass this semester. I think I truly only understand inertia. And like barely. An object at rest stays at rest. That's it. That's all I've got. But honestly, we should have been trying harder earlier.
Yeah, it's just not it. Like, I don't really know when I'm gonna use physics, other than what I already know because of common sense. So, why are you here?
Oh, I was just recording something. Do you know that we have a full lab? Like a full soundboard and an isolation booth and a really nice synth and a really cool girl named Dawn who can help you with the tech if you don't understand. And well, I was just recording something in the lab.
That's so dope. I didn't even know we had that. I wish I was a musician. Music feels like the only thing that keeps me sane these days.
Yeah, I think music has single-handedly kept me from imploding. I mean, there's actually nothing better than hearing a song that puts into words something you didn't even know you were feeling.
I totally feel that. I was thinking a lot about what you said this morning, about like not really knowing how to show yourself to others or whatever. And I just wanted to let you know that I really feel that.
God, I'm just surprised that we haven't ever spoken out of the context of school. I mean, not us being weirdly similar.
We are a unique breed, I guess. Loud music in libraries.
What? That would be a kind of epic song title. Loud music in libraries.
Wait, you write your own stuff?
Yeah. That song I was just blasting? Mine. Just finished it. It's kind of about what we were talking about earlier. About self-awareness and knowing yourself being such a part of your identity that you're constantly terrified of not being able to truly open up. But said in like an aesthetically pleasing way.
You should play it.
But right now?
Why not?
No one has ever asked to hear my stuff. I mean, besides Tom, my boyfriend, and like my mom. I mean, a lot of people don't even know that I make music. I don't want to make you like listen to something if you don't want to. I don't know, it's...
Come on. I want to hear it.
With a sense of safety that was way too real to exist after dark. I think about the overwhelm and rawness of our fights. I think of how I'll overthink those comments late at night.
I can't remember a day I didn't have eyes on me. And I hated it, being watched. But it's forced me to look at things differently, to really see.
And when you look with your eyes and your heart, you find the most unexpected, wonderful things. They said I was as delicate as a flower the day I was born. But growing up, I learned that it couldn't last forever. I had to be tough to survive. And now I know that I can be both.
I've always seen things a little bit differently. My feelings felt safer when they were on a canvas or in my journal. It was my way of containing myself, making space for the other people in my life. But I'm learning to be my own comfort, to exercise the same patience for myself that I give to other people. Because after all, my life is about me.
You'd never guess it, but I was a happy kid. I know I've changed since then, but isn't that normal? I'm so grateful I feel things so deeply. Sure, some of those things hurt, but that's what makes the good stuff so good. I know I'll find my way. Eventually, at least.
All I knew was I wanted to change the world. Regardless of what happens, I know the girl in the mirror is worthy of everything she wants. She's worth it. I'm worth it. All I want to do is change the world, and I will.
I used to feel like I was something of a conundrum, but I like it that way. I am so many beautiful things all in one place. I am a collective of unknowns, of in-betweens, of uncertainty, of curiosity, of liminality. I'm not steady at all, but I am steady. I know myself completely, but there is so much more I do not know. Yin and yang, loud and quiet, tough and delicate. I am all of this, and so much more.
I am all of this and so much more.
I am all of this
and
so much more.
so much more.
I am all of this and so much more.
I am all of
I
this
am all of this and so much more.
I am all of
I am all of this and so much more. I am all of this and so much more. I am all of this and so much more. I am all of this and so much more. I am all of this and so much more. I am all of this and so much more.
I think about when we drank too much and walked home through the park. With a sense of safety that was way too real to exist after dark. I think about the overwhelm and rawness of our fight. I think of how I'll overthink those comments late at night. It's validation and it's messy. It's fun and it's oh so sad. Isn't it kind of silly how we can't just make ourselves so mad? We're all on different planes, but we're really all the same. And things below the surface you will never see. Only we will know the things that will be. I think of how when boys walk by we show our asses off. But when some few the same will do, we simply look and scoff. I think of how we hate our bodies, but also think we're hot. And I wonder if there will be a time when